You want to change your life? Start with your mornings. Because how you greet the day determines how the world greets you. You think waking up at 5 a.m. is just about being early. No. It's about owning your life before the world starts pulling at you. This is not for the weak. This is for the ones who are done playing small. So if you're ready to stop reacting and start commanding, listen closely. These 5 mm tips aren't just habits. They're weapons. Use them wisely. You want to dominate your day. Then you need to win your first hour. That golden window between waking up and the rest of the world rising is not just another part of your routine, it is your sacred ground. It's where your power lies. Most people wake up already behind scrolling, checking emails, reacting to noise. But that's not how leaders move. That's not how change makers rise. You want to change your life? Start with your mornings. Because how you greet the day determines how the world greets you. You think waking up at 5 a.m. is just about being early. No. It's about owning your life before the world starts pulling at you. This is not for the weak. This is for the ones who are done playing small. So if you're ready to stop reacting and start commanding, listen closely. These 5 mm tips aren't just habits. They're weapons. Use them wisely. You want to dominate your day. Then you need to win your first hour. That golden window between waking up and the rest of the world rising is not just another part of your routine, it is your sacred ground. It's where your power lies. Most people wake up already behind scrolling, checking emails, reacting to noise. But that's not how leaders move. That's not how change makers rise. You must train your mind to turn inward, to look within for instruction, not outward for distraction. In that first hour, your mind is most absorbent, most malleable. It's a blank canvas, and you get to paint the tone, the vision, the narrative of your day. If you let notifications dictate your focus, you're surrendering the brush to someone else. You are no longer the artist, you're just reacting to someone else's sketch. Start with movement. Wake your body as you wake your mind. A short workout, a stretch, a walk outside, anything that activates your energy and reminds your body that it's a vehicle for greatness. You are not meant to stay stagnant, not mentally and not physically. That motion will light a fire inside you, not just physically, but emotionally. It tells your system, we're not surviving today, we're building, we're pushing, we're growing. It's not about how long or how hard you train. It's about honoring your body as a tool for your mission. Because a powerful mind needs a strong vessel. Then feed your soul, meditate, read something that expands your thinking, or write down the thoughts that weigh on your chest. Clear the clutter, set your intentions, decide how you want to feel, not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. When you control your emotions, you control your decisions. And when you control your decisions, you control your direction. You are the architect here. That quiet space is where you draft the blueprint of your life, one thought, one intention at a time. Finally, speak your goals out loud, not to impress, but to declare. Let your voice carry the truth of who you are and who you're becoming. Words have weight. Wait. Say them like you mean them. Speak to your future self and let that voice echo into your actions. You're not just waking up early. You are aligning your mind, body, and spirit before the world even gets out of bed. This isn't about being productive. This is about being powerful. The first hour isn't a habit, it's a message. And it says, I'm not waiting for life to happen. I'm happening to life. A powerful morning doesn't begin at sunrise, it begins the night before. If you don't respect your evening, you'll never master your morning. Most people treat their nights like an afterthought, as if those last few hours before bed don't matter. But that's where discipline is either built or broken. You cannot binge on chaos and expect to wake up with clarity. You cannot drown yourself in distractions, TV, scrolling, junk food, and then ask your mind to rise with strength. What you do before you sleep sets the tone for how you rise. It's not about sleep alone, it's about intention. What are you doing with those final hours when the world starts to fade and you're left with your thoughts? Your night routine is not just about turning off the lights, it's about turning on your focus. You need to build a ritual that signals to your brain it's time to recharge, not escape. That means creating a rhythm that prioritizes recovery over stimulation. Cut the screen time. Shut down the mental noise. Create space for reflection. Let your mind slow down so your body can reset. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. Champions don't stumble into greatness, they prepare for it. And preparation doesn't start in the morning hustle, it starts in the stillness of the night. That's where you separate from the average. That's where you show yourself and the universe that you're serious about your goals. Before you sleep, check in with yourself. Did you honor your goals today? Did you move with intention? Did you show up for your mission? Or did you coast? This isn't about shame, it's about awareness. Awareness creates accountability. Write it down if you have to. What worked, what didn't, what you'll do better tomorrow. Give yourself a moment of brutal honesty. Because when you face yourself at night, you don't need to run from yourself in the morning. That honesty becomes your fuel. You sleep lighter. You wake stronger. You know where you're headed because you looked yourself in the mirror and refused to lie. Then take it one step further. Prepare for your next win. Lay out your clothes. Set up your workspace. Write your to-do list. Visualize what success looks like before the sun even rises. That way, when you wake up, you don't stumble, you strike. You move with clarity because you already made the decisions. The mental friction is gone. There's no hesitation, just action. That's the difference between the world's top performers and everyone else. They don't waste their mornings trying to figure things out they prepared the night before. The plan is already in motion. They're just executing now. Your environment also matters. Make your bedroom a temple, not a trap. Clean space, calm lighting. Silence, no clutter, no chaos. If your space is loud, your mind will be louder. And if your mind is loud, you won't sleep, you'll spin. You'll toss with anxiety and wake up with regret. But if you train your environment to be a place of peace, your rest becomes intentional. You don't crash. You recover. You recharge with purpose. That's how warriors rest, not out of exhaustion, but as part of their mission. Sleep is not an escape, it's a strategy. And above all, protect your energy. Your night is yours. Don't give it to every notification, every demand, every meaningless distraction. Turn off the noise. Say no to anything that doesn't align with your purpose. Because when you give your nights away, you sacrifice your mornings. And when you sacrifice your mornings, you're giving away the most powerful part of your day. Set boundaries, create rituals, build discipline. Because the person who owns the night doesn't just wake up early, they rise with power, clarity, and conviction. Most people train their bodies but forget the real battlefield, the mind. You can have the strongest body in the room, but if your mind is weak, unfocused, or overwhelmed, you will crumble under pressure. At 5 a.m., your mind is at its rawest, untouched by distractions, opinions, or noise. That early hour is your chance to take control before the world starts pulling at you. This is where mental training begins. It's not flashy, it's not loud. It's internal, quiet, and powerful. You're not just preparing to move through your day, you're programming how you're going to think, act, and lead. This is about sharpening your mindset like a blade before you even step into the arena. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of control. In the quiet of 5 a.m., you create space to listen to what truly matters, your voice, your intuition. Take 10 minutes to sit with yourself. Breathe deeply. Close your eyes. Let your thoughts surface, not to react to them, but to understand them. This is your mental audit. What are you feeling? Where are you mentally strong? And where are you slipping? That clarity will expose your patterns, your habits, your fears. And once you see them, you can shape them. This is how leaders are built, not through noise, but through intentional silence. Mental training at 5 a.m. is not about perfection, it's about presence. You're not trying to force positivity or fake confidence. You're training your mind to be present with what is and rise above it. It's about noticing when doubt creeps in and choosing discipline instead. It's about recognizing fear and deciding to move anyway. This is mental conditioning. It's like lifting weights for your brain. Every time you choose focus over chaos, intention over reaction, you're building mental muscle. You're rewiring your brain to perform under pressure, to stay grounded in the storm, to choose clarity in confusion. That's real strength. Visualization is a key part of this process. Most people wake up and hope for a good day. But you're not most people. You don't leave your day to chance, you create it with vision. Take a few moments each morning to see yourself succeeding. Feel it. See yourself walking into that meeting with confidence, finishing that workout with power, facing that challenge with calm. This isn't fantasy, it's mental rehearsal. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagined and real success. So when you visualize victory, you condition yourself to expect it. And when you expect it, you start to live it. Journaling is another weapon in your mental arsenal. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need pages of poetry. Just write what's real. What are you focused on? What are you grateful for? What's one thing you'll conquer today? Get it out of your head and onto the page. That act alone brings clarity. It clears the fog and brings order to your thoughts. It's not about being a writer, it's about being a leader of your own mind. When you journal consistently, you learn your own patterns. You track your growth. You become deeply connected to your internal world, which is the foundation of everything external you're trying to build. Your mind is your engine. And every morning you get to tune it, fuel it, and fire it up. The world is noisy, demanding, chaotic, but you don't have to be. When you train your mind at 5 a.m., you walk into that chaos with control. You respond instead of react. You lead instead of follow. You create instead of consume. That level of mental strength doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice, a discipline, a daily commitment to mastering your inner world so you can dominate the outer one. That's the mindset of a champion. That's the power of training your mind before the world even wakes. Most people underestimate the power of small wins. They think transformation only happens through giant leaps, starting a business, hitting the gym for hours, reading 10 books a month. But real transformation starts with micro movements, the kind that seem insignificant to the outside world but build unstoppable momentum inside you. When you wake up at 5 a.m., your first task isn't to conquer the world. It's to conquer yourself, one small victory at a time. The moment you choose action over hesitation, even if it's as simple as making your bed, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. That vote compounds. That action multiplies. There's a psychology behind momentum. When you complete a task, any task, your brain gets a hit of accomplishment. It doesn't care how small the win is. That's your advantage. You're not waiting for a breakthrough, you're building one, brick by brick, win by win. Make your bed. Drink a full glass of water. Journal a few lines. Stretch for 5 minutes. These aren't chores, they're signals. You're sending a message to yourself that you follow through, that you finish what you start. That's how confidence is built, not by shouting affirmations, but by stacking real, tangible actions that prove you are who you say you are. Each micro win is a form of self-respect. When you follow through on the tiny promises you make to yourself, you're building trust. And that trust becomes your foundation. Most people break promises to themselves so often, they don't even believe their own intentions anymore. They say they'll wake up early, but they don't. They say they'll work out, but skip it. Every broken promise weakens their identity. But when you commit to small wins at 5 a.m., you're reinforcing the truth that you can rely on you. And when you trust yourself, there is nothing more powerful. Because no matter what chaos the day brings, you know you've already shown up for yourself. Momentum is contagious. One win leads to another. And before you know it, your entire day shifts. You're not dragging through your to-do list, you're flowing with purpose. That's because your brain is wired to crave progress. It doesn't need perfection. It needs to feel like it's moving forward. That movement, however small, is fuel. But here's the secret: momentum doesn't show up. You create it. You start small and you stay consistent. That's the hardest part. Not the action itself, but the commitment to do it daily, especially when it feels like nothing's changing. But trust this, everything is changing. You just haven't caught up to it yet. The beauty of micro wins is that they're always within reach. You don't need special equipment, more time, or anyone's approval to get started. You just need to act. Right here, right now. And when you do, something inside you shifts. You stop being a dreamer and start being a doer. It's easy to think about the life you want. It's powerful to take even the smallest step toward it. These micro wins are your gateway to consistency. And consistency is what turns average into excellence. They're not placeholders. They're the blueprint. They're the training ground for discipline, commitment, and ownership of your life. When you understand the value of small, consistent victories, you stop chasing dramatic change and start becoming the person who commands it. You don't need more motivation, you need more movement. The act of doing creates energy. And at 5 a.m., when the world is asleep and silent, those small actions echo louder than anything done at noon. They are proof that you are in control, that you are moving forward, and that you are building something real. One decision at a time, one morning at a time. And in time, you become unstoppable, not because you took one giant leap, but because you never stop stepping. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to stop thinking like everyone else. The 5 a.m. mindset isn't just about waking up early, it's about rewiring your beliefs. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything you do. And most people don't realize they're trapped in thought patterns that sabotage their potential. They wake up thinking, I'm tired, I'm not ready, maybe tomorrow. But those thoughts aren't facts, they're choices. You have to decide every single morning to think differently, to think boldly, to think like someone who owns their time, their energy, and their future. If you don't master your thoughts, they'll master you. Everything you do is a reflection of what you believe. If you believe you're capable, you'll take risks. If you believe you're worthy, you'll pursue big goals. But if your inner dialogue is filled with doubt and fear, it will infect every decision you make. That's why the 5 a.m. hour is sacred. It's the time to confront and reshape your thinking before the world influences it. Instead of letting the day dictate your mindset, you dictate it. You don't wait to feel motivated. You create the thoughts that generate motivation. You replace I can with I will. You turn I don't know how into I'll figure it out. Your words become your weapons. Your beliefs become your blueprint. Affirmations are not cliches, they're commands. When you wake up and speak power into your life, your brain starts to align with that narrative. But the key is believing what you say. Don't just repeat mantras because they sound good. Say what you mean and say it with conviction. I am focused. I am disciplined. I rise for a reason. When those words come from a place of truth, they shift your energy. They give you armor against the world's negativity. Your beliefs aren't just feelings, they're frameworks. And the stronger your framework, the more pressure you can handle without breaking. Reprogramming your mindset is a daily battle. You have to stay alert. Doubt will creep in. Fear will whisper. You'll have moments when quitting seems easier than pushing. But that's when you remind yourself you're not who you were yesterday. You've already evolved. You're not reacting, you're choosing. You're not drifting, you're designing. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. The exceptional question their thoughts, they interrupt the narrative that says play it safe and replace it with go further. They don't believe everything they think, they believe what moves them forward. That's power. You also need to be careful about who and what you let into your mental space. Minds isn't just about what you think, it's about what you allow. Every piece of content you consume, every conversation you entertain, either strengthens or weakens your mindset. Protect your input. Choose growth over gossip. Choose education over entertainment. Create your environment to feed your mission. Because the people and media you allow into your morning become part of your mental programming. If you're serious about growth, you'll stop giving access to anything or anyone that makes you shrink. And above all, you must become your own biggest believer. Not in an arrogant way, but in a grounded, unshakable way. Because if you don't believe in your vision, no one else will. That belief starts in the quiet moments when you wake up early, when you speak life into your day, when you refuse to let fear write your story. You must feed that belief daily. You must nurture it like a fire. Because your mindset is your engine and it runs on conviction. Every great achievement started in someone's mind. And the 5 a.m. mindset gives you the space to cultivate those thoughts before the world interrupts. You're not just changing your schedule, you're changing your entire belief system. And that changes everything. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. It doesn't give you instant applause or overnight rewards. But it's the quiet force that separates those who merely dream from those who actually build. The 5 a.m. mindset is rooted in discipline, not just the act of waking up early, but the mindset of showing up even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Because discipline isn't about motivation, it's about commitment. It's doing what needs to be done long after the feeling of excitement has faded. And in a world full of distractions, convenience, and excuses, discipline is your edge. It's your weapon. It's what builds the foundation of a powerful, purposeful life. Most people romanticize success but resent the routine it requires. They want the outcomes without the structure, the results without the repetition. But high achievers understand one thing: greatness is boring. It's not made in moments of glory, it's made in the grind. In doing the same things daily with precision and purpose. Wake up, journal, train your mind, move your body, execute your priorities. Over and over again. That repetition is what rewires your identity. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who is. A disciplined person, a consistent person, someone whose actions speak louder than their intentions. Discipline is not just about doing hard things, it's about doing the right things repeatedly. It's the ability to focus your time and energy on what truly matters, while cutting away everything that doesn't. That means setting boundaries, saying no, choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., discipline is what gets you up, not because it's easy, but because you've already made the decision. You're not negotiating with your comfort. You're not looking for reasons to delay. You rise because you said you would. That integrity with yourself is sacred. When you keep that promise, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through. Here's what most people get wrong. They think discipline makes life rigid. But discipline actually frees you. It eliminates the chaos. It removes the anxiety of indecision. When you live with structure, you create space, mental space, emotional space, creative space. You're not constantly chasing your day. You're leading it. And that leadership starts with how you show up for yourself. If your mornings are chaotic, your life will reflect that chaos. But if your mornings are intentional, powerful, focused, that's the tone you set for everything that follows. Discipline brings alignment between who you say you are and how you actually live. Of course, there will be resistance. Your mind will try to pull you back into comfort. Your environment may not support your new rhythm. People might not understand your commitment. But discipline isn't about being liked, it's about being legendary. The world doesn't need more people who blend in. It needs more people who stand tall in their truth, who choose consistency over convenience. Your discipline becomes your reputation, first with yourself, then with the world. When you show up day after day without excuses, people take notice. But more importantly, you take notice. You start to believe in your power. And that belief creates momentum. Ultimately, discipline is an act of self-love. It's you saying, I respect myself enough to do what's hard. It's the deepest form of care because it demands that you rise to your potential, not for applause, not for validation, but because you owe it to yourself. You deserve to see what your life looks like when you stop quitting on yourself. And every morning at 5 a.m. is another chance to prove that. Another chance to rise with clarity, act with purpose, and build a life that reflects your highest standards. Not someday, every day. Because the discipline don't wait for the right time, they create it. So now the question is, are you ready to create it? Are you ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start becoming the person you were meant to be? One intentional morning at a time. Because this isn't just about 5 a.m., it's about taking full command of your life. About becoming someone whose actions reflect ambition, whose mindset radiates purpose, and whose discipline builds an unshakable foundation. Every sunrise is a new beginning. A quiet, powerful invitation to rise before the world, to lead before you're led, to build before you're told to build. The life you want isn't waiting for you, it's waiting on you. And it starts the moment you decide to rise.